So now once we have configured Nutch with Eclipse, let's see how to start crawling. First of all, go into the Eclipse workspace and here into your project Nutch 1.9. Here you need to form a URLs folder, which I've already formed here, and in that you need to have a .txt file. Give any name you like, and in this .txt file you have to give the name of some URL, one or more URL which you want to give as the starting point for the crawl. First of all, download 2 files from the link given below the video, and these files are fetcher output format.java and parse output format.java. It is because the existing fetcher output format.java and parse output format.java files in your source are not compatible. They use Windows. Newer versions of Hadoop as which is not supported by Windows. So download them and place them in this path for fetcher output format.java. Here, open your Nutch 1.9 in your workspace. Go to source, Java, org, Apache, Nutch, fetcher, and here paste new fetcher output format.java. Similarly, in parse, paste new parse output format.java replacing the old file. So once you have done this, go to Eclipse workspace, and here now we'll start crawling. But before that, you may face some problems like during the fetcher operation, when the actual downloading of data corresponding to a particular URL many threads may get hung due to timeout. The remedy is that, go to your workspace Nutch 1.9 and here under conf go to nutchsite.xml. Open with WordPad or Notepad, any text editor, and here define one property named mapred.task.timeout and give it some very high value. Now the timeout can occur when the content to be downloaded from a URL is very large, and then what happens is that content also can't be downloaded, and moreover all the threads get hung, disrupting the whole fetcher operation and ending that operation untimely. Now everything is set right, we can start crawling. Now in the Eclipse window, click on this run icon, run configurations, under Java application, new. We'll start with inject operation, give it a name, browse Nutch 1.9, search for the main class, its injector class under org.apache.nutch. OK. Now under arguments we have to give 2 arguments. First is the output argument and second is the input argument. Input argument, as we know, it was URLs slash, that is the folder containing the seed list of URLs, and the first argument is the output folder, which we define as crawldb. So here crawldb defines the subdirectory where the already discovered URLs will be saved along with their status in the form of crawl datum, and injector is the main directory where all the crawl related info will be stored. Now VM arguments here will define the Hadoop log file. This is going to be constant for all the sub operations, whether it is inject, generate, fetch, parse, update, any operation. And now we'll apply it and click on run. Proceed. The errors don't affect our crawl in any way, so simply start crawling by clicking on proceed. Now this operation has finished, inject operation has finished, and our crawl database, that is crawldb, is injector/crawldb. I'll show you it. Nutch 1.9, here we have injector, crawldb has been formed. Okay. Now next step is generating a list of URLs after normalization and filtering. that is comes under the generate operation. So we will again define a new Java application, name it generate gen operation, and the project name is Nutch 1.9 and main class. It is generator org.apache.nutch.crawl. Click OK. The VM arguments are going to be same as we know, and program arguments. To give two arguments. These are the first is the input folder and the second is the output folder. Now the segments directory will contain the crawl data corresponding to every iteration. So our input folder is injector slash crawl db and the output folder is injector slash segments slash. Okay, apply it and run it. So we can clearly see subdirectory in the segments has been formed. It corresponds to the first iteration and it's named by the current time on which it was formed. I'll show you that it is formed now. Injector segments, and here is the name of the segment we saw in the console window. It currently has scroll generate, that is the fetch list of the URLs to be finally fetched from the internet now. Now the next step is actually downloading the content corresponding to these URLs. So here the fetcher class will come into being. New Java application, name it fetch operation, fetch op. The project name is Nutch 1.9, main class, search for it. It is fetcher under org.apache.nutch.fetcher. Click OK. Now arguments, VM arguments are going to remain same. These and program arguments, now we just need to give one argument, that is injector slash segments slash 2 star. Since we have only one segment currently and its name starts with 2, so we'll give it like this only instead of giving the whole name. From here the fetcher will pick up the list of the URLs to be fetched. Now apply it and run it. Now this is the operation where you actually require the use of internet. That is the fetch operation. Only the fetch operation of your crawl of your whole crawl requires the internet. Now next step, see, as we can see, content and crawl fetch have been generated by the fetcher operation. Now next step is parsing this content to get the outlinks. So define new Java application, name it parse operation, project name is Nutch 1.9, main class is parse segment because we are passing a particular segment only, and the arguments, these will remain same, and program arguments again they are same as that of fetcher because now we want to parse the data collected in this segment. Apply it and run it. Now as you can clearly see, the segment is being parsed and there was only one URL defined currently and it's shown that this URL has been parsed. So we get three new folders: crawl parse, parse data, parse text. Now after this, with these newly found outlinks, we want to update our crawl DB. So again, run configurations under Java applications, new, name it update operation. The project name is Nutch 1.9 and the main class, search for it. It is crawldb org.apache.nutch.crawl. Okay, and the arguments are VM arguments will remain same, and the program arguments. These are two arguments. First is the output folder where we actually want to perform the update operation. That is, we want to update the list of already discovered URLs. That is the crawldb database. And the input folder is injector slash segments slash 2 star. Since we currently have only one segment, apply it and run it. And so the segment, according to this segment, this database has been updated. I'll show you. So we have this folder injector crawldb. See, here we have current and old database too, just as a backup. So now one iteration is complete. In the next iteration, now again we'll generate a fetch list. Now we don't need to perform the inject operation once again, because we only need seed list of URLs to initialize a crawl, to give an initial set of URLs. Now our iterations will consist of generate, fetch, parse, update, generate, fetch, parse, update, and so on, up to the number of iterations you want to continue with. So again, I'll generate a new segment. As you can see, a new segment has been generated. I'll also show you it once. Segments. A new segment has been created and named according to the current system clock time. So now we need to fetch this segment. For this, we need to make changes in our fetch operation Java application. So fetch operation, arguments, and here now, since we don't have only one segment, we want to explicitly define the segment. So we'll paste the name of new segment here, apply it and run it. Now this time the fetcher operation will take more time, as the crawler is expanding and finding new links. Here our total queues are more than one, and the total number of URLs being processed at a certain time is also as being given. As you can see, this is taking a lot of time. This if you hadn't set your mapred.task.timeout to a larger value, perhaps your threads would have been hung. So here is where lies the importance of overriding the value of mapred.task.timeout in your Nutch site.xml. As you can see, the fetcher operation in iteration 2 is also complete. And here in injector, in the segment second, we have content and crawl fetch. Now we can do the same thing for parse operation. Just change this argument, giving the name of the current segment. So next step, now update the crawldb with the newly discovered URLs. Update operation. Just need to change the segment name to the current segment. After this, again generate operation. Now in generate operation, every time we don't need to change any arguments, so you can simply run it. Again, a new segment has been formed. We can continue with the iterations as long as we desire to. So here we have learned how to crawl with Nutch in Eclipse.